Hello friends, I am Advocate Dr. Shrikant Malegaonkar, and today I would be discussing with you the applications of labor industrial law. As you are aware that the labor codes are knocking our doors, the rules will soon be in place, and this is going to drastically change the scenario in which labor industrial laws are working, made applicable, and are of use to you and me. But the point remains, what is the application of labor laws? Why should students opt for labor laws? Why is labor law, which once upon a time was an optional subject, today a compulsory one, even by the Board of Studies of almost all universities all over India? So it's in the fitness of things that we understand as to what is the application of labor laws. Students, you should be aware that the world is a global village now. In 1 second, what is happening in, say, United States of America, you know it in India, maybe because of the social media or whatever. Secondly, you have to understand that world being a global village, companies opt for making the world their manufacturing place. So there could be a company which is registered in United States of America and has a factory in some other country, including India. And likewise, if you see, after the liberalization era, there are so many multinationals which are coming to India, or rather they have already settled in India. You have Dutch companies, you have German companies, you have English companies, you have US companies, Japanese companies, and so on and so forth. Now you see, all of these companies on the one hand have to cater to some laws. Amongst all the other laws, I am going to concentrate only on labor industrial law. And when I opted for being a specialist into labor industrial law, remember that it wasn't that I could see the full picture, or it wasn't that I could see the till the end of the road, as it happens with every branch of law. But today, friends, I am going to emphasize only on the labor industrial law and what are its applications, why should students opt for it, what is of use to me, and all of those questions which possibly haunt your mind whenever you think of labor industrial law. Now, friends, you have to understand that first and foremost, the application of labor industrial law is, how does it operate? On the one hand, say for example, is a lawyer or a consultant, and earlier there was a misreading of the very name labor law. It is not labor law. In foreign countries and everywhere else, it is called employment law. And employment law means it is employment for the workmen also, and it's employment for the managers also. And at the same time, you can understand that you cannot set up any manufacturing plant, any trading plant, any service industry, any IT industry without understanding as to what is the application of labor laws. Again, even now I said it is labor laws, but it is basically employment law. And today is a time when this labor law, you call it, or industrial law you call it, or employment law you call it, it is not restricted only with the labor class or the working class or the blue collared worker. It also includes the white collared workers. And all these corporate big houses, if you see, they are into corporate practice. So what we see, the first application with all these multinationals which come into India, labor industrial or employment law, first you can set up a corporate law practice. And corporate law practice is because any company you take, it has to have a department which is a legal department. Then there is a department which is a purchase department and a marketing department. And then likewise, it's a coordinated marshalling of all of the departments which make the company successful. And when there is a company, there are bound to be employees, there are bound to be workmen. And all of these have to be controlled by some law, which is the employment law. Workers, employees. Why I'm making a distinction between workers and employees is because employee is very generic. Say for example, a managing director is also an employee, but a managing director essentially is not a workman. But in order to make a company successful, you require both of them. And then what are your industrial relations? How do you manage your labor? How do you manage your employees? How do you manage the management? And everything together makes the company successful. Now, first students is those of you all who are interested in employment law, they can join corporate law practice. Employment law includes Industrial Disputes Act. Employment law includes Trade Unions Act. Employment law includes Provident Fund, ESI, Minimum Wages, Factories Act, Maternity Relief Act, Bonus Act, Contract Labor Regulation and Abolition Act, Maharashtra Recognition of Trade Unions and Prevention of Unfair Labor Practices Act, and so on and so forth. Now you see, I've been on the interview panels of so many companies, and whenever students like you come to the company either to become a law officer or to become an HR officer or a personnel manager, what happens basically is that all of these companies, the students show them a piece of paper which possibly is called as a degree. But the companies are not interested in that. Company is interested how many results can you deliver, or what is your final worth, and how would you be of use to the company. I remember of an example of an Indian boy who was a salesman and was appointed in a US company, and they used to sell washing machines. And this boy could sell only 2 machines in that month, so he was asked by the managing director to come and meet him. When he met the managing director expressed his dismay over his poor performance. You have sold only 2 machines this month. And the Indian boy said that, sir, I am working to the best of my ability. On which the American managing director told him that I don't want you to work to the best of your ability. I just want you to sell my product. Maybe your best falls below than what is my requirement. So here, friends, what you have to understand is when you show that piece of paper called as a degree, you should be knowing as to what it is, which entails for hard work right from today. Otherwise, you just show a mark list and keep an expectation that they are going to be impressed by it would be a wrong notion itself. Then, friends, you can become a lawyer. All these companies, multinationals, Indians, whoever, whatever, everybody requires a lawyer. And then you have to have a total acumen as far as labor industrial law is concerned. You have to have an acumen how to handle the union. You have to have an acumen as to what are negotiation skills, which again will entail hard work. You have to read the judgments. If you don't know what is Crown Aluminium Works case, you don't know what is negotiation, you don't know what is collective bargaining. If you don't know, or if you have not read Herbertson's case, you don't know how wages are fixed. If you have not read Indian Express newspapers versus Union of India, again you do not know what is an industry cum region basis. So all of these fundamentals are very essentials. If you are to be a lawyer, then you will be dealing with termination cases, you will be dealing with unions. So second arena, or the second branch, I would say, is law practice itself. So one is corporate practice, second is individualistic law practice, third is, now today you see there is a dearth of stalwart leaders. Once upon a time, all these big trade union leaders, India, as far as India is concerned, and internationally also, whether it is Lech Walesa of Polish Solidarity, or whether it is Tony Blair, the ex-Prime Minister of United Kingdom, they were all trade union leaders. In India also, we had so many trade union leaders, stalwarts. First is nobody else than Mahatma Gandhi himself. Then we had Sripad Amrut Dange and N.M. Joshi and V.V. Giri and R. Venkatraman. Both were presidents of India later. Then we had Manvendranath Roy. And big leaders right from, say, Bal Thackeray to Sharad Pawar, they have also been presidents of their unions. So the question is that today there are no, or there is a dearth of trade union leaders, and you can fill the vacuum. Do you think that tomorrow there is going to be a leader is going to rise from some ashes, or who is going to fall from the sky? No, he is going to be from somebody from your class only, somebody from your friends only. Why not you? So one can be a trade union leader also. All these big trade union leaders, and let me tell you, there is always room at the top, whether you be a lawyer or a